They're so going to think that my house is really, really clean. Hey everyone, I'm making French press coffee today. Want to know how to make it? Okay, let's learn. So hey, I'm sitting in a chair by my stovetop. I've never done that before. I want to show you how to make French press coffee. Why do you want to make French press coffee, you say? Because it's the best way to enjoy coffee. Trust me, if you love coffee and you like a strong cup of coffee, you're going to love French press coffee. And it's not hard to make. I thought it would be really hard, and it's not at all. So here's what you need. You need a tea kettle. I already have water boiling because it takes a while, so I have that going while I get the grounds ready. You also need a French press. I have a Bodum 8 cup, which is like the standard size, and it works great. And then you need a coffee grinder, which I just have this Black & Decker. It's a small one. You could definitely have a bigger one. And then you need coffee beans. I have some Starbucks breakfast blend here. Coffee beans. And you need the Bodum comes with a nice little measuring spoon, which I believe is probably a tablespoon. And a good thing to remember, if you want to know how much coffee to brew for each cup, 1 tablespoon per cup is a good measurement to remember. And then I have a wooden spoon that I use to stir the grounds. I'll show you that later. First step, let's ground the coffee. Okay, my tea kettle's actually ready, but I'm going to pull it off and then turn it back on before I need it. So the first thing you need to do, other than get your water boiling, is to get your coffee grounds ready. I put that to the side. I get my coffee grinder, and then I'm just going to, I want 8 scoops to put in it, so that's how much I make. But here's the thing you need to remember when you are grinding the beans. You want to make them coarse, so you're not going to grind them as long as you would if you were making like in a regular coffee pot. You want it not ground, you want it just coarse. So I basically just pour some in because I have a tiny machine here. And then I have like a little plastic container that I keep, because sometimes it makes a little bit more than what I need, and so I keep it in there. Basically do like 3 or 4 pulses, and then here is the consistency you want. See, it kind of looks like, it kind of reminds me of tobacco, but that's what it looks like. And then I just pour this into the plastic container just so it's easier to scoop and I get it out. And when I have enough, I go ahead and do my 8 scoops into my French press. I take off the lid, and then I do
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And if you find that this is too strong for you, you can always, hold back on the scoops. Okay, now that it's in there, I'm gonna let that hang out until my tea kettle's ready. It actually was ready, but I'm gonna start it again because this is live video, folks. Just waiting around. Ah, it's ready. Hear it screaming at me? I'm going to turn it off and then wait around 30 seconds or so before I pour it inside my French press. Okay, I have my towel so that I won't burn myself when I'm pouring the water. I'm only going to pour halfway for now and then set my timer for 4 minutes. So remember that. Here we go. Only halfway for now. Okay, now I'm going to set my timer for 4 minutes. When it hits 3 minutes, which is just 1 minute later, I'm going to stir what is called the bloom, which is this top layer right here that you can see of the coffee grounds. I'm going to stir it with just this wooden spoon so it doesn't scratch my French press. And then I'll pour in the rest of the water and then put on the plunger and show you what happens next. It's been a minute, so I'm going to stir it up real quick. And then after I stir it, I'm going to pour in the rest of the water up to here. We want a little bit of padding at the top so that we don't splash when we push down the plunger. So here we go. Okay, now at this point, I'll put on the plunger and make sure it's dropping things, and make sure that the vent's in the back so that it's all staying in there and steaming. And so then when my timer goes off, I will show you how to plunge down this deal on top. Leave it, don't do anything until that 4-minute alarm has gone off, because you need that time for everything to brew and taste delicious. While I'm waiting for this to brew, I also pulled out my carafe, which this was only $11 on Amazon, and I'll provide the link. This thing is crazy because I pour in the coffee after I brew it, and it'll stay warm for like 6 to 8 hours, like warm enough to just drink. I don't have to heat it up, because if you leave it in this French press all day, it gets cold for one, and then it gets sort of sludgy and it gets a little too strong. So you really want to remove the coffee and put it in something like this to stay nice and warm. Okay, it's ready to plunge. Okay, here's all you do. There's a plunger that's sticking out the top right now. I know it's hard to see. See, there you go. All you're gonna do is we're pushing that down, but very gently. So you're just using the weight of your hand. You don't want to just push it down really, really quickly. So I'm basically just using the weight of my hand. And normally I wouldn't be sitting for this, but I just want you to see it. You see how it's just sort of weighing it down by just the, gravity in my hand, and not forcing it, because you don't want that hot water to splash out. And then I'm going to turn this so I get to the little vented part so that I can pour the coffee out. So essentially the coffee beans are down here underneath the plunger. I have my cup of coffee right here. Normally I would put a little bit of milk in it, but I'm just going to show you. I pour in my cup. So that's nice, ready to go. It smells so good. It is such a nice cup of coffee. And then I pour the rest of it into my carafe, so it stays nice and warm for a very long time. And then, that's pretty much it, folks. I put on the lid to my carafe, and then go wash my French press, keep this on the counter, and pour it as I need it. And really all that's left to do is to drink your coffee. That's really good. Okay, so now you know how to make French press. If you have any questions, ask me. And I'll leave links on where to buy the stuff. And yeah, I'll see you next week. See ya. Bye.